I wanted to ask you, what drew you to this work? Like, what is it within you that makes you want to be a bridge for people going through a tough time?
Yeah. I think even as a kid, when they say, like, what do you want to do? And I'm just like, I just want to help
I
people.
want to
You know,
help
it's a
you.
little bit Pollyanna. I just want to help people make the world a better place.
I love it.
But I still believe in, and I'm a people person. So it gives me great gratification to help people. And there have been so many stories over the years where I just, I think, okay, I'm doing my job. But when you can connect with somebody, and I know what it's like too, to feel so like overwhelmed and desperate and like, what do I do? I mean, this was many years ago when my mom, she had a brain aneurysm, and she actually my folks live in a little town, and she was helicoptered into this hospital. And again, this was many, many years ago. And I was working with the place from, but I still, kind of learning the ropes. And I just thought, okay, well, she can come and stay with me for a little while until we figure out. Well, I was like, okay, I'm not equipped for that. I love my mom. I would do anything for her, but I was like,
Right.
I am not a nurse, and
Yeah.
I was so stressed out. Like, I would wake up
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, set my alarm, and make sure she was taking her medications. She ended up in the emergency room, and then they said, okay, we're going to send her back to the hospital, do more testing. And then she did go on to rehab from there. And so I just was like, oh my goodness, I do this work, and I was stressed out. And I know resources. What do people that don't do this work and don't know what's out there? Just having that compassion for people going through it. And I always think gently guiding people. Like, sometimes you want to just say, hey, I know you want this, but maybe consider this, because
Right.
this might be a good resource for you, or the path to take.
Yeah. I want to share because what you're saying is right in line with a beautiful thing that happened for me when my dad could no longer walk and I was trying to figure it out. I had rolled my sleeves up and I'm like, well, I'm going to take a class and I'm going to learn how to be a registered nurse, and I'm going to learn how to twist him in the bed so he doesn't get bed sores, and make sure I know how to lift him out. I was down the road. I'm like, I'll stop working completely and this will be my life. I'll be caring for my dad. And I was talking to a social worker, and he said to me, I'm okay. Can I give me a minute? He said, no one on this earth will love your father better than you. Nobody. Is it possible that there's someone that could care for him better than you? And I was like, yeah. He said, let me ask you something else. If your dad was in his right mind and did not have dementia, would your dad say that he wants you to be his nursemaid or his daughter? And I said, his daughter. So why don't you find the people that are gifted and skilled in doing all the things that he needs physically, and you just show up and be his daughter? How about we find that place? And a weight was lifted, because I know that if my dad could say it to me, he would say to me, don't you come over here and change no diapers or move me around. Don't do it. He'd be like, don't do it. He would hate that I was doing that for him.
I love
You
your
know?
compassion, because I'm just going to say this, not every family and, daughter is as good as you are. That's the truth. So I love your compassion that you were willing to go to the ends of the
Ready to
earth.
go.
But
Ready to go.
there is definitely truth in that. Like with my mom, and I thought, I am so nervous. What if something happens under my watch, and I really am not equipped for this.
Yeah.
And so I think too, with families, sometimes it's stepping back, and exactly what your dad said. They don't always want you to be their caregiver. Like, they want somebody else to deal with their personal needs, and they want to have you as a daughter. When you come and visit, they don't want you to have a feeling like, okay, I got to take care of you or help you with the shower. They want to just visit with you and have that time with you.
And there's also times where the family dynamic is not conducive to that. If you have a fraught relationship with a family member and they need you, you may want to provide care, but that it's oil and water. The two just don't mix. Everyone doesn't have a great relationship with their family members, but that doesn't mean that in their time of need, you don't find a way to make sure they have what they need.
Yes. And there's a lot of families that will pitch in and do that. Or if, like in your case, if it was just you, and then sometimes people will like say, okay, I love that. I want my parent here, or I'm going to go live with my parent. And it can work very well. Yeah. Or they say, hey, I want to just add in like home care too. That's another thing that people sometimes add in home care and say, okay, now I got this. And, maybe we look at plan B down the road.
I'm gonna answer this question too, but what do you want every caregiver to hear or know?
I think probably a few things that I've said already is that you're not alone. You're not alone. It might feel like it in the moment, but you're
It's
not
gonna feel
alone.
like it often, but you're not.
Yes, yes, exactly. And I think one of the biggest things is to take care of yourself,
Mm,
because I've heard the stress and strain, as I mentioned, like in the caregiver's voice, but also, and this is no joke, especially with spouses where, I'll get a call and she'll say, my husband, and then she ends up in the hospital. Or even if I'm talking to the children and they say, well, my dad has cared for my mom or my mom has cared for my dad. And I said, that's great. It's a wonderful thing. And that's what they want to do for each other. But be mindful and cautious of that. And I say, I don't want to scare you, but I want to be realistic that if one of your mom or dad is the caregiver, if something happens to the caregiver, and it happens, they end up in the hospital. So, take care of the caregiver too. I
yeah,
think that is, and it's almost like we feel, well, they're not the ones that are in the hospital, but they need help and
they do.
support, and they need to take care of themselves, just
Yeah,
physically and even emotionally too.
yeah. I'll answer for myself. I will piggyback on your "you are not alone." The way you find out that you're not alone, though, is that you have to ask for help. You have to find, and usually the ones that fall into caregiving are the ones that are like, "I got it." You don't have it. You don't have it all the time. So you have to get to the point where you're okay. Get your brain trust, your group of friends, your group chat together of people that you can say, you know what, I do need someone to please send me some food, or can someone come sit with my dad or my mom for a couple of hours? I just need to go out and just clear my mind. I want to go to the library and read a book for a couple of hours. Can someone come and sit? I have found that when you ask for help, the world opens up for you. Everyone wants to help. They just don't know what you need. So you have to deputize your friends and family and bring them into the fold to help you and your caregivee so that you can breathe a little bit. And though I joke when someone says, how are you caring for yourself, or how do you handle self-care, my joke is always, what's that? That's not cute. It's not cute not to care for you. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. So you are not alone. You are enough. And you have to love and care for yourself at the same level you love and care for the person that's under your charge. You have to make sure that you value your health and your sleep, and making sure you're eating some good food too, in the same way you're concerned about their health and their sleep, and making sure that they're eating well. You have to make sure you take care of yourself, because you just can't properly care for them if you're not caring for yourself.
Yeah, if your gas tank is empty, how
Oh,
are you going
Jenny,
to be
where you
there?
going? Where you going?
Yeah, exactly. How are you going to do it for
How you
them?
getting
So,
around? Yeah,
oh, so good. Such good information that, I mean, just being a caregiver, that you can really say it's almost like giving permission to people. And, one
yeah,
other thing I noticed, I'm kind of flipping around in my thoughts here, is, sometimes too, caregivers, like, they want to do it for their family, but I think I've sensed in people where they almost are getting angry because
mm,
they're kind of losing a part of their life,
yeah,
and they're feeling, like, oh, I'm constrained, but I have to do this. So it is, all the things that you said, and there's support out there. I like
yeah.
the fact that you said, reach out to your friends or family, because sometimes they see from the outside, they think, oh, everything seems to be going
Yes,
okay. She's got
agree.
this. But if you're like, gosh, I'm really tired and I need help, you
Yeah.
generally will find people will step in to help.
Absolutely.
And
And also the reminder, the understanding that this is a season of time, and I often joke, I say I was there for my mom and I'm here for my dad because they taught me how to use a spoon. And I gotta pay it forward. I gotta pay it forward. The understanding is that this period of time you will never have back. And the 11 and a half years I had my dad with me, it was a time for me to be a caretaker of his memories. It was a time for us to make even more. It was a time for him to feel as loved and supported as I've always felt by him. It was a tangible expression of love that he could see every single day. And I will never, no matter what I had to sacrifice for myself to be able to do that for him and to be there for him, I will never regret it. I will never regret it, because I'll never get that time with my dad again.
I love that. That just warms my heart. It's so special, and you made good memories, and it's such a special thing. And it's you bring to light about time,
Yeah.
because sometimes we think, well, we'll do that later on, but you've been in it. You're like right in
Yeah.
it
All you
doing
have
it.
is today. All you have is today.